Behind every thesis is a story of questions, pressure, persistence, and discovery. Welcome to Behind the Thesis with Yvonne Shabangu, where we unpack the real story behind research and thesis writing. From late-night writing sessions and supervisor feedback to breakthrough moments and academic wins. This podcast is all about the journey behind the pages. If you are a student, researcher, or academic trying to make sense of the thesis process, you are in the right place. Welcome.
Hi, everyone. You are welcome to another episode of Behind the Thesis. Today, Nkelno Dogotela, a doctor of philosophy. I'm seated with Farelo Matsila, Dr. Matsila, an author, and not just an academic author, because, academics, we've got academic author, but also a creative author. We're going to go into that, but today we're going to focus on the process of writing your thesis, some of the things to consider, your ethical clearance, the process of choosing your methodology, and many other things that you go through. Dogotela, introduce yourself. Tell us briefly what you do. Oh, guys, also, and you must stop judging me for interviewing people from UJ. Today we have somebody from UP. Stand up, UP. You're up. You're up.
Yes. UP is well represented, but I'm not speaking as a UP staff or employee. I'm speaking as UP alumna. Mm-hmm. I'll only be reflecting on my experiences, doing my own PhD, but also some bits of the experiences that I have from supervising students.
So today we've got a bonus. You're also going to speak to us as a supervisor.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes.
So let's go into the icebreakers.
Okay.
If your thesis had a relationship status, what would it be?
What are my options?
Single, complicated, happily married, retired.
Happily married.
Happily married,
Yeah.
Okay. And then what is that one phrase from your supervisor that still haunts you?
Your proposal reads like an honors paper and not a PhD proposal.
Shucks. And how did that make you feel?
As somebody that had completed my honors 3 years before I did my PhD, I think a big part of me, I felt like, am I not doing enough? Am I not capable? What do you mean? My honors was a cum laude and you're saying here I am writing like it's an honors paper. That broke me. I immediately asked that we stop the conversation and then we revisit it later.
Later on, but you still use the same supervisor and all of that.
So I asked to be transferred back to my master's supervisor. Unfortunately, when we started working on the proposal, she got a job and had to leave for London. And then I had to go back to the other supervisor I tried to run away from.
All right. And then what is the most unnecessary academic word you secretly enjoy using? Where you can say, I use this word a lot and it's unnecessary.
Therefore. Every time. Therefore.
Furthermore.
Yes.
All right. And then what is the funniest comment you have received from a supervisor or reviewer?
Are you serious? It's not funny, but are you serious?
So they've written that on your... They're like, are you serious?
Are you serious?
So they were basically,
you can
just go jump off a cliff.
Yeah, no, you can do better.
Okay. And then last one. What is your favorite way to procrastinate while pretending to work?
Okay, I'll go on YouTube.
Okay.
I'll go on YouTube. YouTube is my happy space. If I'm cooking, I'm doing anything, or I just open it up and then I have papers in front of me. I'm like, I'm logged in, but I'm watching a YouTube video.
Okay, so now, let's go into it. Where is your favorite place to write? Where do you enjoy writing? Like when you're locking in coffee shops.
Coffee shops.
Okay, we're the same. Literally love it. And then what has been your favorite?
But it's getting
coffee shop?
scary, Yvonne.
Yes, tell me more.
Why? I heard that people are stealing laptops.
Really?
Yeah. So if you get
you need to be careful. You need to be woke.
You are up there with your Macs and your Asus, and then someone is just, okay, I'm mentioning names, but you get there and then they steal them. So
no, I also really love cafes and coffee shops. It's really so nice and peaceful. But hey, South there. And then there's an ongoing question, right? And I think this will tie nicely into discussing how one chooses a topic. For your research to be credible, does it need to resolve a real life problem?
I think, yeah, because then my question is, what is a real life problem? Because I'm trying to think, so for research to be credible, firstly, it has to have a theoretical implication. It has to have a practical implication, but also it has to fit somewhere between just changing ways of doing research, a methodological implication.
Okay.
So if I'm doing a research and I'm like, oh, I'm testing an intervention or a new program, let's say I want to see if podcasting is the best way to tell stories, or if it's the best way to document new realities, then I will go through different podcasts and see how do they portray the lives of people. Then that way you are testing something. If my other point is to say I want to just see how did people speak about social media as a means of connecting people.
Yeah.
Then it means that I'm reviewing what has already been done. And then I'm making a decision of whether the way that they presented it is the way that it should be presented, or if I have another way of critiquing it. So I think, in a sense, yes, it has to always solve a real life problem, because otherwise, why are we doing this? It's unnecessary.
So you must be providing some sort of solution or reflecting on something.
Yes. It must bring solutions. Help us think better or do things better.
Okay. What makes a good topic? What are the elements? Like if there's someone at home sitting there thinking, I want to do this honors or master's or PhD, how do I then come up with a topic? Where do I even start?
I think the best thing the questioning approach that I used to do is, what am I doing?
Okay.
Why am I doing it? How am I doing it? Where am I going to do it?
Okay.
It helps you narrow it down, because one of the main challenges that we struggle with as students, as early career researchers, is wanting to do everything at once. Where the topic is just too broad.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, I come in and I say another different topic. I'm interested in GBV. The question will be, what about GBV?
Yes.
Why GBV? Okay. In terms of GBV, I'm interested in, let's say, women's perceptions of what GBV, women's perceptions of GBV responses.
Okay.
In relation to the law or whatever. Then the question would be, what do you mean when you're saying responses? Is this the question about whether if there's an increasing rates of GBV, then we create a hoo-ha or we go and we toy? What about GBV? So I think what I'm trying to say is that you always have to ask yourself, what am I saying? What am I doing? Why am I doing it? So narrow it down.
Okay.
I always use a funnel approach to say, if you think about the shape of the funnel, it sits like this, right? So you start broad, and then you narrow it down.
Oh, you keep narrowing it down until you get to a point where, okay, this is it. Okay, I love that. And then when you chose your topic for your all the years, right? I'm not sure if you use different methodologies, but from the time you're in honors, masters, and all the way into a PhD, which research methodology did you use, and what informed that choice? And what are the other alternatives?
Yo, guys. You see, when you said behind the thesis, I'm like, now I have to expose myself. I'm bending Goa.
Okay.
Like when I was doing my honors, I was going through it financially, emotionally, family-wise. I was going through the most. And the only way that I could dissociate myself from the challenges I was facing was to come up with a topic that will allow me to study it as an objective person.
Okay.
Looking inside out, like as an outsider. So I chose, so my honors was focused on the impact of absent fathers on their daughters' lives. What impact does that have? Because financially, they're Goa, and this guy is
and you're
not
just like,
acting right.
If my dad was present, things would probably
You
be better.
see, and what about other ladies out there that are going through the same experiences? How are they navigating it?
Yeah.
It was my way of finding, I can't say, hi, I'm here, these are my issues, but like I was like, do you have the same issues? How are you navigating it? Let me learn.
We're in this together.
Yes. So I used qualitative research methods. Qualitative research methods vary because sometimes you are able to conduct interviews with different people. You are able to do a document analysis. That means that you'll go through different reports. You'll go through different papers that have already been published in the field. You are also able to do participatory action research. What that means is you can do something like photo voice. So you just take pictures of beautiful women. Something that I'm interested in is bodily autonomy.
Okay.
How do women conceptualize bodily autonomy, or when we say uyazazi lo sisi, what does it look like? You see? So you give them pictures in phones and you say, take a picture. That shows you in your best element.
Okay.
And then they write something about that and then you analyze that. That's what photo voice is about.
And then you use that as your research.
Yes,
that
is
is
part
so
of
cool.
your data analysis. So that's one of the methods. Another one that I only got to use when I was doing my master's is called observation research.
Okay.
We got an assignment, I remember, and we had to go out there and just observe a phenomena happening. I went to a shisanyama at night. Well, I don't club, so shisanyama was the closest that I could get to a club
So
nightlife.
this was for your schoolwork. You literally were like, okay, let's go observe
Yes,
nightlife.
I went there with my friend. I'm like, friend, we're going to go sit there. We'll buy a platter. And then I took out my phone because people can't see that you're observing them. If they see that you are observing them, then it can have an impact on how they behave.
Yes. Yeah.
Took out my phone. I'm looking. Who's coming with who? The age range of these guys, of the ladies. What are they ordering? How do the waiters behave when they're serving a particular table and stuff like that? And I wrote about it.
Yeah.
So that's observation research. And then there's also something that...
Now I think I want to go read your master's paper. Like it seems very cool going out there, just observing. People think you're just staring and doing it. You're busy with your schoolwork.
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are some of the methods within qualitative research. And then there's also quantitative.
Okay.
Some people love quantitative. I mean, I've been trained in quantitative, but I haven't really used it in depth. That's when you'll do statistical analysis of responses. But it depends on the goal. If your goal is depth and understanding something in detail, what we are doing right now is part of research. It's part of data collection. Because what we are doing, research, interview questions, you're asking me, I respond. That's another way of collecting data.
Okay.
So it means that now Yvonne in this context is interested in the depth and how things are done, and we're collecting data, right?
Okay.
And then when it comes to surveys, you draft questions and then you send them to me, I respond. You take the very same question, you give them to Ndibu, she respond.
Okay.
And then the goal there is to see how many people said yes, how many people said no.
Okay.
What are the implications of this? And if we only asked people in Gauteng, would the same results come out in Mpumalanga? Would the same? You want to generalize. But with qualitative, what I love is it's centered on the phenomena. We don't have to generalize because it takes into account that context varies. If you were to interview me tomorrow, probably be a different Farelo that you're going to interact with. And that's what I love about qualitative research. So I'm biased towards that. And then there's also mixed methods.
Okay.
The good thing about mixed method is it allows you to say, okay, we are going to give surveys to 100 people. And after those surveys, we're going to select maybe a sample from them and have more questions to ask them. You said yes. What was going on when you said yes? You see, you want to understand the story behind the data.
Okay.
So that's mixed method.
All right. So which one did you use for your doctorate?
I used qualitative. So I did interviews. I also took pictures.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of, I don't know if it's applicable to some people doing law, but I know I never had to do like an ethical clearance. So a lot of the people talk about ethical clearance. What is it? When is it required? How do you get it? And what is the use?
Okay. So I think before I respond to the ethics question, it wouldn't just apply to law. So even if you are in the humanities, because I come from the humanities faculty, if you're in the humanities and you want to use secondary data, if it's something that you're analyzing a case, pre-existing data that has been done, and you're just saying, okay, a bunch of people have done research from 2015 to 2020, and you're going into those research papers and asking new, fresh questions. We don't usually go for ethics application, but you would write a proposal to show how you're going to select the papers or the cases that will form part of your analysis and why. And then when it comes to going out there and collecting data, whether you are doing surveys or you are doing interview questions, you always have to do an ethics application. What does that mean? The ethics committee of each and every institution wants to be sure that your participants are going to be respected, your participants are safe, your research methods are aligned with the questions that you want to ask, and these questions have to be validated against the methods and the literature or problem statement that you would have presented. So it is not only just to, someone can differ, but like usually it's to protect the... It's to protect the participants and the institution. Because if I'm going out, I have to write a paper and say, hi, I'm a student from this university and I'm doing this research. And then you go there and then you trigger somebody. And then they do something as a result of being triggered. Because remember, in-depth interviews are bound to trigger emotions, irrespective of what topic you're exploring. So you need to make sure that people are... how do I put it? They're safe, man. Emotionally, physically, and whatnot. Now, the challenging thing that is coming up is, what about the safety of the researcher?
Yes, that's a valid question, because how are you protected? And I think another thing I wanted to ask tied into that, but I think we're going to go into it, interviewing people. How do you then select the people? And also, how do you know that these people are credible? Because we live in interesting times. A person will tell you something, you get excited, it's juicy, you put it on paper, and then maybe at submission level or something, you find out that the person lied or something along those lines.
So that's where also ethics comes through. When you are doing your ethics application, they will ask you, what is your selection criteria? Then you'll say, I am looking for young women aged between 18 and 25. That's a criteria. Are you 18 and 25? Yes. You fit. My project is about young women's understanding of womanhood. How do you define womanhood? Ubufaz, what does it mean to you? The question would be, do you identify as a woman? Yes, I tick. Have you ever thought about like maybe questions of what womanhood means? Always, every day, I'm a woman, I'm living this experience, yes. Would you be interested in participating? Yes. So those two, I think the first two ticks to say, do you identify as a woman? Yes, I identify as a woman. Are you aged between 18 and 25? Yes. Are you able to give consent? Yes, I can give consent to have my narratives shared, right? The worst thing is if, let's say, you are doing an interview on something very sensitive, that's where extra layers of ethics have to be put into place. If you wake up today and say, I'm from law, I focus on criminal law, and I want to go and interview people that are in juvenile facilities.
Yeah, that's tense. So you can't just go there and walk in and be like, hi, this is what I want.
Yes. So it means that then, as an institution and your supervisors, we have to make sure that your methods are intact. And then the university will give you a letter, or your supervisor will give you a letter that you send to the correctional service unit. You go there, you tell them, this is my study, and this is how I want to use the data. Firstly, you can't just use people's narratives blabbing around all over the world. If you said you're only using it for report writing and seminar presentation, that's what you use it for. Because that's what ethics
Because I was about to say, I'm a podcaster. You give me tea. I'm like, I'm going to come here and be like, look, people at Juvenile, they actually study for free or something like that. But I hear you. So you are prohibited.
Don't say which facility. You can't say which facility. As long as in your discussion, you don't say, remember we had a Farrell, we are Goa Usis. You see, you can just say, okay, from my research, majority of the women expressed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or there's an interesting case that stayed in my mind and this person. But in your description of this person,
it has to be fictional.
No. That's why I think I've also noticed, like, even with like people that do story times, they say, let's call him Mike. Let's call him Tabo. Because what they don't want to trace it back. That's why I said you guys are already doing data collection. So then the juvenile facility would then give you access to say, yes, you can come. You take that letter, you take it back to the university. They have to do a cross-referencing to say, okay, you got
Permission.
the letter, you got permission, we have checked your methods, we know this is how you're going to do it, and you're doing it under the guidance of somebody who will be able to ask questions and deal with issues as they come. Then you can go collect the data.
Okay. Do people's ethicals ever get rejected, and why?
All the time.
Really? So what happens when it gets rejected? Do you go and redo it? Do you apply again?
So ethics, based on my own experience, they sit once a month. Someone said they sit once a quarter. I'm like, no, that will cause delays, guys.
Yes.
Let's not do that to people. Yeah. So they sit once a month. So what this means is before the 15th of every month, if you want yours to sit within May, means that before the 15th, you would submit your application, and then they will sit and review and make comments.
Okay.
Usually what they reject is if your methods are vague or they're not aligned with the questions. You can't say, I want to understand people's experiences, but then you want to do surveys.
Oh, okay.
You're not going to get the in-depth understanding.
Yes, you have to go to the area and actually see them
You
live.
see, you can't say, I want to understand the impact of cold weather on how women experience period pains. And you want to do a qualitative. You have to do an experiment. You have to engage with them on different types of weathers, what happens, and be able to track that. Are the medical records that you're going to look at? So those are some of the things that sometimes you have to do experiments. That's another research method. You have to do an experiment and test to be able to speak about the causal relationships between the two things. So they would reject in that case. Sometimes you may say, I'm interviewing young people in high schools, but you didn't define the parameters. What do you mean? Are they already 18 or not? If they're under 18, there has to be a letter.
Okay.
Are you going to let parents consent? Where is the approval from the parents or the SGB to say that you have access to that? So usually when we reject, it's not a matter of your study doesn't work. It's a matter of there's a mismatch between your methods and your approach. There's no clarity in terms of how you're going to select the participants. There's confusion about why you chose these people. You always have to validate.
Okay.
Couldn't you have gotten the data from someone else?
Okay.
And why Yvonne and not Farero?
Okay, I hear that.
So you always have to... That's why most people I enjoy the methodology section, but when you're writing methodology, it often reads as repetitive. I'm wearing green because it's going to look like this. And I'm wearing black because you always have to validate every single stage and step that you take in the methodology.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, interesting. So with the ethical, when does it okay? Is it before your proposal or during your proposal or is it after your proposal?
So usually institutions will say, let's say I'm a fresh student and I want to apply to a different institution. What would happen is you would submit a concept note.
Okay.
Concept note is just a brief of what problem am I solving, what methods am I going to use, and what questions am I going to ask. Then the application comes through.
Okay.
So you've gone past the system application, the portal.
Yes.
It comes into the department. So the department will say, do we have somebody to supervise you?
Okay.
If there's no one, then sometimes they may not accept you.
Okay.
If your research is very interesting, then let's find a supervisor.
Okay.
Can we find someone within the university that can supervise you? And then you have another supervisor within our department. That person becomes a co-supervisor and we still retain you and your amazing project.
Okay.
And then after that, I went on a tangent. What was it? Ethics, yes. After that, then you are merged with a supervisor. Then your supervisor will ask you more questions to say, what direction are you taking? It's only tricky because sometimes... Okay, let me not go there. Let me not go there. Not yet, at least. So then they will sit down and say, okay, fine. What questions do you want to explore? And then you explore the methods and you guys, you're aligned, right? We are doing this thing. Then they say, develop a full proposal.
Okay.
You develop a full proposal. Your supervisor reads it and gives you comments.
Okay.
Oh, I think here you are too broad. Narrow it here. Question mark. What is this? This is not PhD.
Are you serious?
Are you for real? You see, things like that. And then you do it iteratively. When the supervisor decides that this is good enough, then it can go on to departmental level.
Yes, okay.
So that means that it is circulated internally within that particular department.
Okay.
And then after it's been circulated, then they will do the review and you do a proposal defense.
Okay.
That is where even the other students can come in and watch you present and shine. They ask you questions. Then you'll get feedback from the reviewers, the internal reviewers. They'll tell you, okay, I think you still need to read more on this, read more on that. You polish it up. Then it can go to ethics. So we don't go to ethics when we are still unsure.
Oh, okay. So it goes to ethics once you are sure and set to say, okay, this is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah.
And all of that. Okay. That makes sense. And then you mentioned proposal defense. So does it mean that that's the only defense you do? Because I know with us, we defend at the end. You defend like your research entirely. So I've heard that other institution, you defend your proposal and that's that. Is that the same experience you had, or you had to defend twice?
It was twice. So we did they did the internal review, and I got feedback from different reviewers. I had about 3 reviewers and their comments, and then I worked on the comments, and then my supervisor signed them off. It went to the head of the department. She signed it off. Then we could do ethics application.
Okay.
And then after, when you are done with everything, then you have to do another defense. Yeah.
Okay.
So in that defense room, there will be a moderator, and there will be the 2 or 3 external examiners that looked at your paper, and then
Okay. Then do they tell you the response on the day to say, look?
I waited.
Did you have to wait for days or months?
I waited a day. Then my supervisor sent me a message and said, "Hi, doctor, congratulations."
Wow. And how
but you can't tell people yet.
Whoa, okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. I'm telling people already. I'm Dr. Smangma.
I'm sure you told your family. You told...
Guys, it's a whole baptism of fire. Yeah, and then she said something like that. And then she said, yeah, professionally, you can't until it has been conferred.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, that's good. You cum lauded your master's, did it in 1 year instead of 2, whilst working full time. How did you, were you part-time working?
So the cum laude master's thing is I was not working full time.
Oh, you were not working full time?
No, I was just tutoring. So with my master's, it was supposed to be 2 years.
Okay.
And then the only thing that I was doing was tutoring and my master's.
Okay.
So I started my master's in 2019. I was interviewing mothers and daughters. I wanted to understand, relationships, the intergenerational constructions of femininity within that relationship. If I'm a mother and I have a daughter, how does our definition of ubufazi vary?
Yeah.
And what are you learning from me? What are the spaces of tensions when there's disconnections? So I was interested in that. I did qualitative as well. And then in, what was it? So 2019, Jan, Feb, March, I got my ethics.
Okay.
In end of March, I got my ethics. After getting my ethics, I went and collected data. So I collected my data in Venda, where I come from. I took like 2 weeks to collect my data. That was done. Then I came back to school. I was attending, because it was master's by coursework.
Okay.
So I was attending my courses. And then I was also writing up. I wrote every day, guys. I had nothing
Like every
else.
day?
Every day.
Every single day without failure?
Yay. Sometimes you just write introduction and you leave.
Because I was about to say also, how did that look like? Because other people take it too literally. And then other people are afraid. Sometimes you sit by your table and you're like, what am I doing? And you're unsure. And they don't stay there. They just are quick to stand up. So what does it look like when a person says, because a lot of writers and researchers say do it every day. What does every day look like? Is it the same energy? Is it the same routine? What is every day?
Guys, Goa, people die, jolo, fires, school fees and whatnot. So I think for me, my everyday was promise yourself that even if it's not writing on your typing, you are writing notes based on what somebody else has written. and you're asking yourself questions. How does this weave into what I've done?
Yeah.
Right? So my everyday looked like YouTube in the background, because I couldn't afford to go to cafes. YouTube in the background. I have my cup of tea, and you are typing something, even if it's just, guys, I used to get excited just for formatting a page. That's what my everyday looked like sometimes. So on your high energy days, do your level best to write something. Your low energy days, write highlight papers, let it be. On days where you can't do anything at all, add page numbers, fix your references, but make sure that every day you are looking at a piece of your work. So then what happened was that around June, then I got an opportunity to go on a research exchange.
Okay.
So already my data collection is done. I've started writing bits and pieces, and then I went to Germany.
Okay, nice. How was that?
Cold. It was very cold. It was exciting. It was scary, but it meant that I'm no longer with my supervisor. My supervisor, every time on a Friday, even if I'm not going there for consultations, I could just go sit on a couch and eat the Easter eggs. She always had Easter eggs. And she loved orchids. Even today, I buy orchids. When I asked her, she said, no, orchids are very resilient. I don't have to worry.
Yes, about how they grow and all of that.
Yes. So it meant that she's no longer there. I'm adjusting to a new place. I still have to continue writing. And I only have funding for a year.
Okay.
So when you guys were doing yippee hooray, Happy New Year, I was wrapping up my thesis. So that's how I finished in a year.
Okay. So you in Germany, did any of your research methods change, or did you acquire any different skill as a researcher when you were that side where you're like, this is interesting? Or was it just the same altogether?
So my research project was still managed here in South Africa. When I was there, I took on advanced research methodology and advanced gender studies.
Okay.
What was interesting was they were still using the same theoretical frameworks. It's just that the challenges that we were evaluating were completely different. I'm like, what do you mean we're talking about water?
And you want to talk about serious stuff. You want to talk about mothers. You want to talk about daughters. You want to talk about sociological issues in society.
See, I'm like, what about water? And, she's like, no, let's evaluate urban development as well. Let's think about why kitchens were never open plan. I'm like, I thought it's just a design of a house. She's like, no, it isolates women from the rest of the community. So when you have an open plan design kitchen, you are not isolated from everyone else. You remain part of the conversation. You are not seen as somebody that's doing the work in the background.
Oh, shucks. That is actually... Wow, I wouldn't have thought of that. Like, I always thought, like, it's open kitchen.
Not,
okay.
But
now that you explain it, it makes sense. Because if they were closed, then the woman is in the kitchen. She's all alone in isolation.
Yes.
And then now it's open. When you're cooking, you're able to converse with everybody else.
You see, you become part of that space.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, makes sense.
Oh, wow. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
So then we're celebrating moms this month. It's Mother's Day tomorrow. Yes. When you enrolled for your PhD, you were pregnant.
Sisi, I was scared.
Right. And ordinarily, people talk about pregnancy brain. People talk about a lot of things surrounding pregnancy. There's even jokes where like employers would say, no, you're just pregnant, you're not sick, And I know there's a woman out there who may feel like maybe the pregnancy is just stopping them from progressing. How did you manage being pregnant and having to prepare not just a master's proposal, but a PhD proposal, which is something much more intense? How did you manage that season? And also, what would you say to somebody at home who wants to go back to school, who wants to do their research, wants to do their master's, but they're like, I'm heavily pregnant. Am I even going to be able to do it?
Yeah. Firstly, I want to honor the fact that pregnancies vary. They are different. Some women, they have it. I'm sorry, it's never easy, but like some women have it easier than others.
Yeah.
Some women's pregnancy is more challenging. They have to be on bed rest and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And that would be very scary, especially if you're already doing the PhD.
Yeah.
And there are options if that is you. When I found out, literally I just registered. And that man was like, I'm not going to fight your people. I'm not going to allow your people. Literally, this was my Shudu's statement. When I came in, you had a plan. When I came into your life, I don't want your people to think that I came in and all of a sudden you stopped dreaming. You're going to finish this PhD. I'm like, but
what a man.
I just want to be a potato on the couch, right? And how I navigated that. Firstly, I thought I could do it by myself. I was quiet. I want to be given feedback as it is. Lay on me raw. If you want to say this is, not good enough, say it. I don't want people to feel sorry for me.
Yeah.
But then I realized when I was like 4 months, it's not easy. 4, 5 months, 6 months, things were getting harder. I don't want to breathe. I don't want to see people breathing. I just want to be myself.
Yeah.
That you can't do it by yourself. And then I disclosed to my supervisor and I said, Prof, I know we had a timeline because in your proposal, you have to write a timeline.
Okay.
When are you going to be done with what? When are you going to be done with what? And I said, I think the only thing I can do this year is to have my proposal ready, completed, and gone through ethics. And then I will make sure that I collect my data immediately in Jan because I was due to give birth in November. So she was away. When people are asking, how's Faredo's progress? She knew what to communicate.
Okay.
Now, the challenge is usually because postgraduate is very alienating. We hide. Somebody dies, you hide. Mentally, things are not going well, you hide. You don't tell anyone. You fall pregnant, you hide. What are they going to say? But you can't perform optimally as you would have if you were not pregnant. So what I'm asking for is if you are somebody that just found out that you're pregnant, already you are in the thick of a PhD. Let your supervisor know. Get a tutor if you must.
Yeah.
Somebody that can help clarify things when they get foggy, right? Bridge the gap between the you who would have been optimal and the relationship you're trying to maintain with your supervisor. But I think also a community matters. Everyone at home knew Farida is doing a PhD, you don't bug her. Like you don't call her a million times. Not that I don't care about calls, but like they understood, right? So during holidays, my younger sister will come and everyone is helping. So lean in your community. And just, you don't have to tell everybody that you're pregnant. But your supervisor, please make sure that they know, make sure that they understand. If you go for your checkup and the doctor notices something, communicate that. If you have any appointments, even if you're not pregnant, please keep those letters, the doctor's letters, because if your study goes beyond...
Then you must justify why.
You need to justify.
You need to motivate.
True.
Okay. No, that makes sense. So how does one build a good relationship with their supervisor? Because look, I feel like most of the times people don't share what is going on in their lives because they don't feel safe or they're scared. They feel some sort of shame. So how did you build a good rapport with your supervisor where you could consult consistently? And how did it work for you? Because I know sometimes with other supervisors, you just do your own thing. You just be submitting chapters. Did you have like a structure? Was there an agreement where they're like, okay, every 2 weeks I want to see you, every 1 week? How did it work?
So at departmental level, you always have to have an MOU, a memorandum of understanding.
Okay.
And that is aligned or linked to the timelines that you give the supervisor.
Okay.
Now, the challenge is if I'm your supervisor and we have a memorandum of agreement to say we are meeting each other every 2 weeks, and then you don't meet me and you don't say anything.
Then we've broken the agreement.
You see? And then I follow up. You said we were going to meet. You didn't say anything. Obviously, you're going to snap. But I'm going through life, right? But I don't know that you're going through life. I'm human. You are human. Let's interact on a human-to-human level. So I think one thing that ruins the supervisee relationship is breaking promises without communicating. If you're running late, say you're running late. If you can't submit something, say you can't submit. If you are given feedback and it doesn't make sense, schedule an appointment. If there's one thing that my PhD supervisor did was, she'll make sure that paper is read. Oh, prof, I love her so much. She'll make sure the paper is read. But then she schedules a meeting and say, I'm done reviewing, we're going to meet. So my PhD was 2021. We started 2021. And there was still some lockdown going on. We will meet online. When she gets too aggressive with the comments, I'll close the screen and go, and then I open it up again. I'm like, sorry, prof. So my network. That's why I just wanted to breathe her, right? But she loved to lay it thick. You see here, this is not making sense at all. What are you saying? Where's your voice? She loved using that as well. I see you've referenced a million people. Where are you? Where's Farado? Because it's easy to get lost
in referencing other people's work.
Yes. What is the core argument that you are making? And I hated that so much. So I'll close and then I come back. I'll close, I come back. And when we had to go back face to face.
It was scary, right?
Yeah.
And also, had you selected your supervisor or they were given to you?
She was given to me.
Okay.
She was given to me. I had my own my master's supervisor. She uses reflective writing. She uses...
It's all cutesy. It's very demure.
It's nice. It's very nice. She loves... She also... Like, my master supervisor also loved poetry.
Oh, okay. So there are those poetic academic writers.
Yes.
Okay.
So when she writes, if we are interviewing each other, and you ask me a question, Farado, I'm like, yeah. So what do you think about what is happening? Okay, I can't come up with a good question, but like, let's just say I came up with a smart question.
Yeah.
And then I said, ish, Yvonne, ish. She wants that. She wants you to add that when you're transcribing the interview.
Oh, all those in-betweens. She's in the final lines.
Yes.
Okay.
And the thing that we do now that there's AI tools for transcribing, you're polishing it up. You're polishing the experience.
Oh, shucks.
She wants you to question, what was that ish? Are you saying ish because my question was not clear? Are you saying ish because I hit a nerve? Are you saying ish
because you were triggered?
You see, she wants to understand that. And that's because maybe both of us had a background in... So my majors were psychology and sociology. So I think maybe that's why she wants to understand the connections that you make when you get to a response. And it shows in the data. Whereas now my PhD supervisor, her background is in demography.
Okay.
She does a lot of statistics. She's like, say what you want to say it, support it, done.
I see.
And then I'm like, I still want to say, hey, and then
you want to be creative, and then you want to be,
And she coughed and she fainted because I was that good. You see, things like that. She's just like, no, you're rambling here. Come back. And I think that was the challenge that we had when we were writing. We were dancing tango, and I'm like, I want to waltz. I want to.
And then she's more direct and straight to the point.
What are you saying? But then I find it challenging. I think even today, I understand the importance of saying what you want to say when you have to say it and be direct about it.
Yeah.
But a part of me is I lose the person.
I see.
I like carrying my participants with me. Okay. That's why I'll have like a journal to say, okay, today I met with Yvonne. We spoke about these questions. This is what she was wearing. Okay. When I analyze, I open my journal, I remember.
Shruti, when I get home, I'll send you a message and ask for an analysis. Because now I don't know if you're at work or we're having an actual conversation.
No, I'm not doing observation research, guys. This is like, I need perform me, guys.
So I think what I'm getting from you is that the biggest thing when you want to maintain a good rapport with your supervisor is consistent communication and being open in your communication. And I think also being open, and it's uncomfortable, but being open to discomfort. Like you come from a person who's very poetic in writing, but you had to adjust into this new way of doing things. How long did you take to finish your doctorate?
3
years straight.
Yeah.
Was that always the plan? You know, every time I hear a person says they finish in 3 years, I'm like, like you.
You see, so... Before we respond to that question, I want to go back to the supervisor-supervisee. Supervisors are also human beings.
Yes.
And unfortunately, when you come as a student and you say, Farado, you said you're going to give me feedback in 3 days, and I don't give you feedback in 3 days, and I don't communicate. Now you're sending me up follow-up emails. Why are you not giving me feedback? Usually some emails that we get from students are not always kind.
Yes, they're not always polite.
You see? And now I understand that maybe I also have to be open and say, like in Goa. I remember my last year, I was supervising 3 students. And I lose my dad in September. They are submitting their final reports in November, the 11th of November. So my dad passes 25th of September. We are polishing the final drafts. And then I communicate to say, guys, this has just happened. I'm going to go home and deal with this. And immediately on the 4th of October, when we laid him to rest, my student sent me an email.
What?
My condolences, Doc. I saw the announcement that the head of department made, because the head of department had to make an announcement to the entire group. I saw the announcement that you've just lost your father. My deepest condolences. When are we meeting about my research project?
What? No, but that's a stretch.
When are we meeting? I'm like, it's the 4th. It's a Saturday. We literally, we just finished. And my email is coming in because I didn't switch off the notification from my phone. And I'm like, my husband, what do these people mean? What do I respond? It's a color, guys. Like,
yeah, give me a break.
And then I sit and I'm like, okay, I know. I'm crying. I communicated. There's a loss in the family. But this student is doing an honors. Honors is 1 year. If I don't give her feedback, she's going to submit something she's not happy with.
Yeah, this
she's
is someone's
fail.
future.
This is fees. This is an extra year means fees, guys.
Yeah,
it has
an
implications.
expense, yeah.
Mentally, you have to come back and clock in. Unfortunately, I had to delay the crying.
Oh, you had
And
to
I'm
park it.
Yazin, Papa, I love you so much. I will review. Come back. And then, when we came back, literally, we had to go back in and do the reviews. I gave feedback. I gave myself like a week of not going to campus. And then I interacted with them online. And they're graduating now.
I want us to linger a little bit there, right? Because it ties into a very important thing within the research space or the studying space, mental health, right? So as a researcher or as a person that's in school, there's people like, I'm an extremist. When I lock in. Like, I go in, right? And I'm able to manage that. But I know that there are people that they do that, but after that, or when it's quiet season, they go into depression or they go into isolation, they go into a lot of mental health issues. How important is it to rest, one? And what are ways that one, as a researcher or as a postgraduate student, that a person can use to keep themselves, do the work, but also look after yourself, look after your mental state?
I was the lock-in.
Like you went in deep.
I was the extreme lock-in. My entire identity was, you are a student. Graduation happened. I graduated. It's me, I'm graduating, but I'm watching from a distance.
Shucks.
Graduation happens, mom comes over, everyone is happy, we are enjoying, and then graduation is over, right? That week you are posting, congratulations, you did it. And then I sat down, I'm like, okay, there's one person who hasn't said congratulations.
You to you?
No. But like, like I spoke about my dad, right? And when I say my dad passed, I'm talking about my dad's younger brother. That's the dad that I'm talking about. When I say he passed. I was waiting for the main dad's congratulations.
And he didn't say anything.
And it didn't come when I wanted it.
Okay.
And he said, but your father posted you. And I'm like, but you're the father. Tell me that I've made it. You were not there. Come and say, oh, you guys finally did it. Congratulations. And then I'm looking at, I'm like, where are their friends? The friends I hate.
You kept dropping them off as you were logged in.
You drop them off when you're logged in because you're wearing, I don't know what they're called in English. Like, like
binoculars.
Donkeys. Yeah, donkeys have this thing where they have to focus.
You only look at the front.
You are focused on that. And then you're like, now we are done. Where's everyone?
No way.
Hi, I'm here. I love you so much, friend.
Now you want to
And
go
they're
like, friend, let's catch up. Like, catch
what
up
do you
with
mean?
who? We have kids, people are married, and all of that.
You see, people are going through life. But I wouldn't miss the important key things. I just missed the, let's go out for ice cream.
Okay.
I didn't go for ice creams. I stopped that. I remember literally after my graduation, I had to go into deep counseling.
Okay.
To recenter and come back to myself. And so to somebody that locks in, I think I would like to say, while you are working on your thesis, your dissertation, whatever you call it, every day, look after you. What does that mean? Is it journaling? I journal a lot.
Okay.
So yes, I was locked in. Yes, everyone else, relationships were falling apart. But my journal, I kept it intact. So I think that's why even mentally, I only felt it at the end that I'm tired.
Because it is exhausting.
I've been a student for 12 years. Who am I now? You see, I'm learning that. So I think that it's very much important that if you love going for ice creams, for walks with your friends, keep that.
Okay.
Even if it's once a month, guys. Don't disappear.
Keep the little things that give you joy, no matter what.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, exactly.
No, that
Exactly
makes sense. I want to talk to you in your capacity as a supervisor. What are the mistakes that students make? And you're meeting a student for the first time and they're saying they want to do research. What would you say to them? You're looking at me like
My brain was just like, my first question was like, okay, what research do you want to do?
Okay.
What interests you? I think for me, I've always been like, passion will sustain you longer than any deadlines.
Okay.
If it's something that you're passionate about, you are bound to wake up and work on it. But also understand that we're living in a country where passion alone can't sustain you.
True.
I can do a passionate project here, but then at the end, what are the implications of this? Because you asked a question. Must it always solve real life problems, right? You can be passionate about something, but if it's not something that's going to add value, not necessarily just to the world, to your career. Because I'm not saying that people should not do their PhDs, but what does a PhD mean to you?
Yeah.
For me, I knew I am not a sociologist if I don't have a PhD. I'm not if I don't have a master's, right? I'm just a graduate that has a major in psychology and sociology. So in that context, it becomes very important that you continue. But in a context where, for example, I'm an accountant, I can study other certificates and whatnot. I'm not saying that accountants don't have to do, their doctorates and whatnot. They can do that if they see a value in having that, right? But in a context where you can do without it. I'm sorry,
So basically you're saying to students, don't do it.
You see, but like, I'm just like, you need to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Does it add value? Because like, yes, I can solve problems, but like, if you're going to solve problems and there's no promotion attached to your PhD.
Yeah, then what?
Now you are overqualified. No one wants to touch you.
No, I hear you. So the biggest thing is knowing your why.
Yes.
Right?
Why?
And also picking something that you're passionate about, because passion will sustain you more than trends or meeting a deadline, right? Okay, we're about to wrap up. Your time went by so fast, right? I want us to go into your book, Becoming Dr. Matsila, right?
Yeah.
The center of it is courage and the ability to question, right?
Yes.
And becoming.
Yes.
Why do you think it is important for us as scholars to continue to question? Why is it a need? Why must I be asking myself questions? Why can't I just accept that this is black? Like, I mean, why?
I'll go back to the question of why can't I just accept that it's black? Norms, when things become norms and they become standard way of doing things, even when those things are hurting you, you can't see it. If you reflect back on the themes of my thesis. So the honors said impact of
Absent
fathers on the daughters' lives. Masters said mother-daughter relationships and the impact it has on womanhood and femininity. If we are sticking to that for now, if my understanding of womanhood and femininity does not shift with times, I'm going to be left behind. What matters to my mother and my grandmother is not what matters to me. The woman he's married to today is not the woman his father was married to.
Oh, his grandfather.
Yes, and that has implications in how we relate, both me and my mom-in-law, me and my mother. So it's important that you continue to ask questions. Where are we? What are we? Where are we going? And what am I bringing along this journey? So I think that's what I was trying to do with becoming Dr. Matsira, to say it's not just my journey, it's our journey and everything else that we navigate as we want to accomplish our academic achievements.
Okay. And then in wrapping up, what do you have to say to a researcher out there or a postgraduate student? Where can we get your book? And what is that one scripture that carries you?
God is within her, she will not fail.
Danko. Okay. Love that.
God is within her, she will not fail. I think that's one thing that keeps me going. Okay. I always say there's no way I'm gonna fail. My father's gone before me. He's leveled all the mountains. I'm walking into what has already been prepared. That's one thing that I always keep in mind. But also it means that on days when I get there and things are shaky, I'm like, yo, Bawo, you left me behind. you know?
Need to keep the faith.
You see? But I'm always reminded that Daddy has already gone before me and everything is aligned.
Okay.
Regarding where people can get hold of me, I'm on TikTok doing everything academics and research.
Okay.
Dr. Farero Matsira there. But also in terms of like getting the book, they can send me a text on WhatsApp because it's not yet on Take a Lot.
Okay.
On 069 336 9926.
Okay. And then the book is 270.
Yeah, 279.
Okay, guys. You see, Kinality Connections. About that signature. Thank you so much. Thank you very much for honoring my invite. I truly enjoyed this. Appreciated it so much. Learned a lot. I'm sure a lot of people at home learned something. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and comment. Leave your questions on the comment section, and Dr. Farelo will answer them when she has time, right? Or I'll forward them to her. Yeah, have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.